Everybody, this is Bill Parlaman, VP of Digital Marketing for Stream Companies, and I want to thank you all for attending this afternoon's webinar called Content Marketing Secrets Revealed. Let's get started with today's webinar. So a few housekeeping issues right away. If you're on this webinar and you'd like to ask any questions, we may have some time at the end of this webinar to answer questions, but if not, feel free to ask your questions on Twitter. And today we're going to be talking about some social media and hashtags. So here's a chance for you to tweet your question or let everyone know that you're on today's webinar. That would be great. Stream's Twitter account is twitter.com/streamcompanies, and you can simply retweet or ask your question using the hashtag StreamNR. Again, that's hashtag StreamNR. So ask your question, hashtag StreamNR. After the webinar, our team will scour Twitter and we'll try to find all your hashtag questions and answer you as best as we can. Again, as I said, this is a webinar, so we are sometimes at the mercy of the technology. So there may be a time, has not happened yet, thank goodness, that our webinar could freeze up or could crash. In the event that our webinar crashes or freezes up, we'll make sure to send an email to let you know when a replay will be available or when we will hold a replay webinar. In most cases, our webinars are recorded and put on our website so you can watch the replay. So no need to worry about that. So again, if you want to tweet on this webinar, it's we're at Stream Companies, and the hashtag is StreamNR. So a little bit about me. Again, my name is Bill Parlaman. I'm the VP of Digital Marketing here at Stream Companies. Basically, that means I oversee the entire team of digital marketers. That includes search engine optimization strategists, PPC strategists or paid search strategists, social media strategists, and inbound marketers. I've worked with hundreds of clients, solopreneurs, helping them to really get their business found online. So let's get into the meat of today's webinar, which is a topic that I really love because I do believe that the best way for your business to be found, especially online, is through content marketing. And when I'm talking about content marketing, it's important to understand that the concepts apply to both online and offline. So we're going to be talking about some ways that you can leverage content marketing so you can use it for the internet and as well as offline. So when we're talking about content marketing, what are we really talking about? Well, content marketing is the marketing tactic of creating and distributing relevant and valuable content to attract, acquire, and engage your target buyer, and that's an important line there, your targeted buyer, with the objective of driving and nurturing profitable customer action. Now, it just depends on what your most valuable or highest ROI action is. You could use content marketing to make a sale or to generate leads online. The other thing about content marketing is you want to make sure that your content helps educate your buyers and visitors to help them make a smarter buying decision. And we're going to talk about that in a moment here. So this is really what we're talking about when we're talking about content marketing. So why do we want to pay attention to content marketing? Well, there's several reasons, and we're going to get into those now. So first of all, it's important to understand that studies have shown that 89% of consumers in the U.S. start their purchase or buying decision by going online, basically visiting Google, Yahoo, or Bing, and they start at a search engine to start the initial buying process. And when you think about it, 89% of the consumers, that's a lot of people. More and more people have internet access. We know that people who have computers and internet access tend to be more affluent. They're the people that have money or players with money that are able, in most cases, to afford the products and services you sell. You know, your buyers' behaviors have really changed over the years. In the old days, you know, we would have newspapers and yellow pages. Those things are going away, obviously. Newspaper circulation is down. People are able to kind of DVR and record their television programs. So people are choosing when, where, and how they receive their marketing messages. And in today's day and age, your buyers expect to be educated and not sold. Your buyers are demanding more information to help them make their purchasing decisions. So as I started out saying, your content's responsibility is to help your buyers make a more informed buying decision. And there's going to be some situations when you really want to use your content marketing. So, you know, your buyers, they want to read blogs, they want to watch videos, they want to listen to podcasts, they want to read social media posts, and they want to read reviews. People are going online and asking questions. They're striking up conversations with strangers on social media, asking them about the buying process with particular companies. So it's really important that you're educating your buyer, and I will tell you this, that more and more people are educated, they know what they want, and there's nothing worse than trying to sell an educated buyer, because if that buyer is educated and you're trying to sell them on something, it's going to be really difficult because that person's already educated about your product or service. So as I just mentioned, your buyers are becoming more and more savvy, more and more educated. A study by J.D. Powers shows that before, well, I should say in 2005 and before, people would visit 4.5 automotive dealerships prior to making a buying decision. So prior to 2005 and in 2005, people would drive to 4.5 dealerships before purchasing a car. Today, it's down to 1.4 visits to a dealership. And the reason is because of the internet. Again, your buyers are becoming more and more educated about the products and services you buy. Many times, they're going to walk into your store or walk into your dealership or visit you online, and they already know what they want to purchase. It's just up to you to help guide that process and make that sale happen. So I think this is a pretty interesting stat that, you know, from 2005 until today, it's down to 1.4 visits to a dealership because people are just so educated about what they want. And it's not just the automotive market, it's all markets. So one of the things that I like to say is I believe that your marketing, specifically your content marketing, should do all the heavy lifting for you. Again, when you're selling things that have certain criteria, you want to make sure that you're able to educate your prospects. And really, your marketing, as it's constantly running, especially online, we're speaking specifically about online now, as your marketing machine is constantly running, people are able to visit your site, get educated, and understand what you're all about. So by the time they're ready to make the purchase, it's very, very easy to do. Now, there's really 4 times or 4 situations where I believe, content marketing is absolutely 100% necessary. And this also goes to lead generation. You may have heard me say these before, but the first situation where content marketing is absolutely critical for your business is if you're selling something expensive. If you're selling a car or a home or life insurance, whatever it might be that may be a little expensive or really expensive, a private airplane, you need to be sure that people are going to do research before they make their purchase. So if they come to your website and they're looking to make a purchase of a car, they're going to research the reviews. They're going to research what people are saying about that particular car, the options, about the different dealerships. What are the reviews on the dealerships? What are social media saying about these cars? What are their friends and family saying? So anything that's expensive, you better believe that people are going to do their research, and you better make sure that you have content on your site in various forms that will help educate your buyers to make that buying decision much easier for them. The second situation where you want to have content marketing in place is where you're selling something that has a long buying cycle. So if something takes a long time, like a mortgage, maybe some sort of financial services, again, buying a private airplane, could all take a very long time before the sale starts until it completes. And what you want to do there, your content, is explain to your buyers and your prospects why the products of a particular service take so long to purchase. You want to inform them of the steps. So again, you're helping to educate your buyers in the process. The third reason, or third criteria for using content marketing, is when you're selling something that's confusing or hard to understand. So if you're selling some sort of program or technology, perhaps, again, some sort of financial services, life insurance, things that are confusing or hard to understand for the general public, you're going to want to make sure that you have a lot of content on your site that helps explain your products and service in plain, simple English. Because what you're trying to do is eliminate any objections to that purchase. And if you have a systematic way for educating your buyers on your website or when they visit your office or your business, then you're going to be ahead of the game, because people can review and read the content on their own time when they choose to. So the third situation when you absolutely should be using content marketing is when you're selling something that's confusing or hard to understand. And finally, the fourth reason why you need to, fourth criteria for using content marketing is when you're selling something where there's unscrupulous players in your marketplace. So if you're, let's say, used car market or something along those lines, typically, unfortunately, there's some players in that market that aren't always on the up and up. So one thing that you can do in your marketing when you're dealing with a marketplace where there's unscrupulous players is educate your buyers and what they need to look out for. And you need to position that content. Look, even if you don't buy from us or from me, understand that this is what's going on in the marketplace, and these are some of the things that you need to be aware of. So again, you're going to be that bright ray of sunshine in your prospect or buyer's mind, so that when they are ready to finally make that purchase, you're going to be at the top of your prospect's mind, because you've really given them some useful content that they can use and help educate themselves in the buying process. Another reason why you want to use content marketing is because I can almost guarantee that your competitors are not doing this. Okay? Most times when I go to a website, I see a 5-10-page website. Rarely do I see a blog. I don't see any infographics. I don't see any videos. I don't see any articles or white papers. So you really have an opportunity to take advantage of the laziness, quite frankly, of your competition. And, the saying is, in the land of the blind, the one-man king, the one-eyed man is king. So if you're able to just do, a little bit of this content marketing and get things up on your site and set yourself to be ahead of the game. And it's all about being innovative. So when you're innovative and you're using content as a marketing strategy, it drives attention to your business, and it really forces your competition to keep up and keeps them gasping for air, because as you're being innovative, as you're being the first mover, you're really able to set yourself apart from everyone else, and it's really going to be hard for your competition to catch up. So again, force your competitors to keep up by using content marketing. Now here's a little story that I like to tell. One of my favorite books by Seth Godin is called The Purple Cow. And in this book, he talks about why you need to make your marketing, what he calls remarkable. Okay? And the story goes that if all of us here on this webinar were to get into a big van, take a drive into the country, we would probably see a bunch of cows out in a pasture. Okay? In this case, we're talking about black and white cows. And we might even comment about them. Look at those cows. You see the cows? Yes, great, great. And as we continue on our journey, we're probably going to see more cows. But as we see the same type of cow, it's not going to grab our interest nearly as much. However, if we're driving down the road and we see a purple cow, there's a good chance that we're going to pull that van over. We're going to all jump out. We're going to take pictures of the cow. We're going to text the pictures to our friends. We're going to share it on our social media platforms. We might write a blog post about it. We might call our friends and family. So really what we're trying to do here with our content is be that purple cow. We want to stand out so much so that people stop and take notice of what we do so that they share their experience with other people. So it's really important when you're thinking about your content strategy and your marketing strategy overall, you need to think about how can you be different, how can you be remarkable. And one of the ways that you can start by being remarkable is offering helpful, relevant content to your buyers and visitors. The thing to keep in mind when you're starting a content marketing strategy is it's important to understand that your buyers search online to solve a problem or a need. So if you're trying to figure out, okay, well, Bill, what kind of content should I be creating? We'll talk about different types of content, but it's important to understand that your buyers and customers go online to solve a problem and a need. When they go online, remember we talked about 89% of people start their search online. If, and that's a big if your buyer or your consumer prospect is able to find your website for the words and phrases they typed into Google, they're probably also going to find your competitors. So we know on a Google search engine results page, there's 10 opportunities to show up on the first page. If they find your site and they find your competitors, as they surf from site to site, you better hope that your website is the one that they resonate with. You better hope that your website is that purple cow that stands out from all the rest so that you are the clear choice all the other websites and all your competition is by offering helpful, relevant content. Understand that your buyers are using the internet to get informed about the products and services that they purchase even before the sale happens. Again, we're talking about an educated buyer nowadays, folks, so it's really important that we help educate, because if we're not doing it, you don't want your competitor to be doing it. In fact, your buyers want content that's highly relevant. And the reason that they want it to be really relevant to them is because it answers their questions. And if your content answers their questions or solves a need, it will be much more valuable to them than just some sort of generic content, homepage, about us, contact us kind of page. So it's really important that you take the time and figure out what type of content relevant to your buyer, your prospect, and give it to them. The more helpful your content, the more trustworthy your company becomes. Think about it. If you go to a site, again, put yourself in your buyer's shoes. If you're doing a search online for a particular product or service, who are you going to feel better about? The website or the company that offers a ton of content that helps educate you, that appears to be a thought leader on the subject, or someone, again, that just has a regular 5-page website? So it's really important to remember that the more helpful your content, the more trustworthy your company becomes. You, again, you want to become the bright ray of sunshine in your prospect's eyes, because nobody else is doing this stuff. The other reason that content marketing is so important is because you want to prospect with a purpose. I mean, there's nothing worse than doing cold calling for the sake of cold calling. It's much easier to reach out to a prospect when you have a piece of content. For example, if we're doing this webinar, if we reach out to people on our email list or our customer list, we're able to say, hey, everybody, come join a webinar for us. We're going to be talking about content marketing, as opposed to, hey, come buy our stuff. So when you're prospecting and you have content, again, this goes online and offline. If you're at a network event and you talk to someone that could be a hot prospect, you could tell them, hey, just go to our website and download our white paper or our ebook about this particular subject. You'll learn a lot about it. Or we just wrote a blog post about this and it's on our website. It's very informative. That's much better than, trying to beat someone over the head to get the sale. So it's much easier to reach out to a prospect, offering them some sort of helpful information, again, instead of cold calling for the sake of cold calling. You want to be the welcome guest, not the annoying pest. And one way that you can do this is by offering helpful, relevant content that your users will enjoy and help educate them in the process. And again, if you give your customers and buyers content that helps educate them, your customers are going to love you for it, and they're going to keep coming back, because there's other ways other than the initial purchase that you can leverage content marketing to keep people coming back to your site over and over again, and to continue to spend money with your company. So again, remember, your customers will love you if you provide helpful information that helps them solve their problems. So now that we have a pretty good understanding of what content marketing is, what it consists of, and why content marketing is so important, let's talk about some different types of content. And I find that many times people feel that content is simply an article or a blog post or something that's written, and that's not always the case. There are many different types of content. Content takes many different forms. In addition, people during the buying process will consume content differently. So what I mean by that is, typically what I like to talk about is there is top of the funnel buyers, middle of the funnel buyers, and bottom of the funnel buyers. So depending where you are in the buying process, you might just be starting out your search for a product. So again, let's go back to the car purchase example. If you're thinking you're going to buy a car in the next few days, you're going to start doing some initial research. So you might want to read some blog posts about that, articles, some customer reviews, some vehicle comparisons. That's what I would call the top of the funnel content. Very low risk content. No worries about anybody trying to sell you anything. You're able to educate yourself on the particular car you want to purchase. Now, as we move more into the middle of the funnel, where you're getting, maybe you've narrowed your choices down, perhaps you'd like to download an ebook on your particular car, or an ebook on tips for picking the perfect family minivan or the perfect pickup truck for construction work, whatever it might be. So as you move down to the funnel, as you get more involved in the process, you want to offer your buyers different types of content. And again, until you get to the bottom of the funnel where people are ready to make that purchase, and that might be when someone walks into the dealership, you could give them a vehicle brochure, you could give them a checklist, something along those lines, but those people are ready to buy, and you're able to offer the exact type of content they want at the precise moment they want it. So without any further ado, let's get into some of the types of content that we can create for our business and make our business remarkable with content marketing. So the first type is one of my favorites, and I'm a huge fan of blogging. If you visit streamcompanies.com, you visit our blog. We're pretty active on our blog. We like to, talk about the different topics that are going on, help educate the folks that come to our website. Again, we're helping with relevant content for the type of issues or problems that people are trying to solve. So utilizing a blog is very, very important. I think this is like the, content marketing 101. If you have a website and you don't have a blog attached to your website and you're not adding blog content to a consistent basis to your website, you're really missing out. So, if you had to pick your poison and you had to pick something to do, I would absolutely 100% start with adding a blog to your website and start publishing content to it on a regular basis. So, we're able to take blog content and promote our webinars or our white papers or our ebooks. So it's really important to get that blog up and running and start posting content to it. And I will say this, I do have a preference of blogging platforms. I absolutely love WordPress, and WordPress makes it very simple to add a blog to your website. It makes it very simple to add content. If you can type or write on a Word document, you're able to update your blog. So very easy to use, and in fact, this gentleman here on this slide, his name is Matt Cutts. Matt Cutts, if you're not familiar with who he is, he's the head of the Google Web Spam team and kind of like head of Google SEO. And Matt was quoted as saying that Google loves WordPress and it does 80–90% of the mechanics of SEO right out of the box. So if it's good enough for Google, good enough for me, very easy to use. Absolutely, highly recommend building your blog in WordPress. So the next piece of content that you can create for your website are articles. So we just talked about a blog. So what's the difference between an article and a blog? Well, typically a blog post is going to be a little bit shorter, maybe anywhere between 350 to 500 words. Anything more than that, typically what you like to do is break those blog posts into a series of blog posts, so part 1, part 2, part 3. Blogs are great for bulleted lists and talking about one subject, but if you want to get more into detail with a product or a service that you're trying to explain, an article is really the best way for that. And articles work best for complex subject matters. So, think about a blog post as kind of like a one-hitter, quick, light, easy read that you can put on your website. And an article is just going to be a little bit more granular, a little bit longer, anywhere from 1,000 or more words. Again, you could break that up if you wanted to, but blog posts are a little bit different than articles. They're going to be a little bit more complex. Now, the next type of content that I recommend creating are ebooks. And ebooks are, they can be anywhere, I would say, between 5 and 7 pages. You're probably going to want them to be designed. You're going to want some nice graphics in your ebooks. And what an ebook is typically, again, 5 to 7 pages where you're covering a topic. So we might write an ebook about content marketing, 7 mistakes business owners make with content marketing, or 7 little-known secrets to ranking higher in the search engines. And we can talk about a broad subject in our ebook. Typically, we like to use our ebooks as a lead generation piece. So if you would come to our site and there would be a graphical call to action on our blog to say, hey, if you're interested in any of these ebooks or you're interested in how to do better in search engine optimization, click here and you can download this ebook. Again, it has some offers, things like that in your ebook. So again, ebooks are a very good content marketing piece. One way to start out with your ebooks is you could start writing a series of blog posts about a particular subject, and then simply take those blog posts and turn them into an ebook form, design it out, put some graphics on it, looks very nice. Now you have a nice lead generation piece that you can use on your website, so when folks visit your site, they just don't leave without taking action. So the next type of content is an ebook. So the next type of content I recommend are white papers. Now, white papers are kind of similar to ebooks, but with a white paper, it's going to be a little bit more authoritative. It's going to be more of a report than a book. You probably want to cover a particular complex topic and work to make it very simple to understand. So white papers are great to help establish your business as an authority in a particular subject, very similar to an ebook, but what you're going to do is take a more complex topic and break it down a little bit easier to make it understand. You can use charts and graphs and other graphics in your white papers to make them more interesting. I know the government really started using a lot of white papers to talk about some things that they were doing. So if you have something that's complex and a topic that you want to be known as an expert in, I'd recommend creating some white papers and, again, offer them as a download in exchange for a name or email from your website. Again, as you have your articles or your blog posts that kind of could be talking about the topics in white papers. That way, when you create your blog or your articles, people will find that content, they'll read your blog post or your article, and at the end of that article or blog post, you'd want a call to action so people could go ahead and download that white paper in order to get more information about that topic. So you're moving from that top of the funnel, low-risk blog content, articles, into the middle of the funnel where you're asking someone to give them their name and email in exchange for your white paper. The other thing about ebooks and white papers, they have great pass-along value. So if colleagues are meeting, they can print them off and they can hand them out. So it has great pass-along value for both ebooks and white papers. So let's not forget video marketing. Video is very, very important. It's very easy to create videos. You can create them on your iPhone. You don't need some fancy dance camera. I would recommend keeping your videos short, probably under 2 minutes or less if possible. One thing to remember is people can forgive video quality, believe it or not. Studies have shown that people will watch a video that doesn't have the best video quality, but if the sound is no good, that becomes a problem. So if you're able to get a camcorder or video recorder, see if you can find one that has an external mic that you can get better sound so that people can hear what you're saying in the videos. You know, people love how-to videos, so if you're in a business that, you know, you're selling a product or service and you help educate people on how to use that product or service better, videos work very well. Of course, if we're talking about car dealerships, you can do a video on how to hook up certain technologies within a car. You could do video walk-arounds if you're selling those private jets or whatever you're doing. If you're selling life insurance, you could do a little video blog of yourself explaining a topic about life insurance. Video demo, so you can demo the product or service right on the video. I know, you know, if let's say you're selling grills or something along those lines, you could show people how the grill works, or you could show different recipes that you might want to cook on your grill. Another type of video works really well that you can do in a short 2 minutes or less is an unboxing video. So let's say you sell something that you ship out. It's a product. People like to see what that product looks like when it arrives. So let's say you're selling hunting equipment and you're selling rods and reels. Well, if you have a particular reel that you're selling, you could show how the reel will come in the box. You can show how it's carefully packed in the peanuts or the bubble wrap, and it comes with this, and it comes with a handy brochure of how to use it, an instruction guide. So those are really interesting for people to see on your site. Don't forget about video testimonials. So if you have customers that you're working with and you want to get your testimonials, make sure you have that iPhone or a handy camcorder. You can just record a customer giving a great testimonial for your business. They tend to be much more powerful than a standard written testimonial. Another thing that you can do, and this is kind of like a little more high-level tip that a lot of people don't think about, after you shoot your video, I should say, have it transcribed. Take the video, put it on your blog, put it on your website, and then put the text transcription underneath of that, because Google and the search engine still cannot read video. So don't miss out on an opportunity to have someone transcribe your video content, put it on your site so that the search engine can also crawl all of that great content. One of the things about content marketing, folks, and something that I really stress is, content marketing is great because you can repurpose it over and over and over again. So you could shoot a video showing a product demonstration, have that transcribed, and put it on your blog, and now that becomes a blog post. You could take a series of those blog posts and turn it into a white paper or an ebook. So you're not looking to recreate the wheel or create brand new pieces of content over and over. You're looking to leverage the resources that you already have. You're working smarter, not harder. So please, when we're talking about content marketing, think about all the different ways that you can use it. I know a lot of times when we have folks contact us and they want to learn more about us, we have videos and white papers and blog posts that we can send people to right away. Say, hey, if you want to learn more about us until we can talk, why don't you check out the video? Video marketing. Another way to take advantage of content marketing is webinars. You know, everyone here on this webinar today is, you know, this is content marketing. I'm helping to educate everyone, at least I'm hoping that I'm educating everyone here on this webinar about how to leverage content marketing in your business. So webinars are great if you have a specific knowledge on a topic that people want to learn about. Webinars we find work best if you hold them on a consistent schedule. We tend to hold one webinar a month, typically the third week of every month. So if you can have a consistent schedule with your webinar on a topic that your folks are interested in, it'd be great. I mean, why couldn't you hold a webinar on the new technology in a particular car, or a webinar on how to use that rod or reel, or how to use that grill? No reason that you can't take what we're doing here today and apply it to your business. Another thing, again, we talked about reusing or repurposing your content. We record these webinars. Then we take the webinars, we put it on our website so that people can come and view this webinar at a later date. So we get great content on our site so we can record this webinar. People can come and watch it later. People that have not heard about us or are finding us for the first time can take advantage of this content. So again, we're leveraging the stuff that we're already doing. Very important to keep in mind when doing content marketing. Brochures, I think most of us know what a brochure is. And again, this is online and offline. Brochures can help show people what your company can do for them and how your company can solve problems. Again, when a brochure is written well, it can sell without selling. So from an offline standpoint, your brochure, someone walks into your business, or you send a direct mail package out, a shock and awe package to a prospect. You could have your brochures in there about your products and services. So again, don't underestimate the power of your brochure. We can also talk about e-brochures, which are a little bit different. So an e-brochure is basically the same thing as a brochure, except it can be downloaded from your website electronically. And there's some benefits here. Obviously, if someone comes to your website and they want information right away, they're able to download your brochure electronically right from your website, so they don't have to wait. Another reason that e-brochures work well is because you can save money on printing costs. So it doesn't, obviously you don't have to keep printing and mailing these out. People can go right to your site and download them. If you're at a trade show or if you're at a networking event, hey, we have a brochure on our website, just go right there and download it and you can read all about it. You don't need to email anything out. Also, e-brochures are typically more interactive, and of course they can be viewed from your website when most people are learning and searching about your business anyway. So that's the brochure or the e-brochure content. Case studies are another great way to utilize content marketing. The best case studies typically have a before and after. So before this company or before I used your product or service, I was at X, and now that I'm using the product and service, I'm here. Or it demonstrates some sort of ROI when we made X amount of dollars because of your software or your product. Very important to have those in your case studies. Case studies can help buyers evaluate the features and benefits of your products and services while showing real-life, real-world examples. Great way to spice up your case studies. Again, graphics, design, things of that nature. So it's not just all written text. Show some images and pictures in your case studies. Infographics are very hot these days. An infographic is basically an image or graphic that takes complex information and puts it into a more digestible format in the form of images and graphs. When done correctly, an infographic is great for driving traffic to your website. People love to share infographics. People love to link to infographics. So when I mean link, again, from a search engine optimization standpoint, we'll talk about that in a moment. If someone's going to link from their website to your website and you have a very cool, helpful, relevant infographic, people will want to share that information with their visitors and their website folks. So infographics are great for taking a complex subject, making it very digestible in a series of images and graphs, and it's great for driving traffic. They go viral many times when they're done well, and it's a great way to get additional links from other websites to your site, which is still one of the best ways to get your site ranking higher in the search engines. The next type of content that we want to talk about, and this people may not think about this as content, but creating microsites. Microsites are basically websites that discuss a very particular or granular subject or topic. They work great if you want to focus on a specific topic. Your microsite should be created as authority sites on a topic. So let's say you own an outdoor adventure business, and you sell, mountain bikes, kayaks, tents, outdoor clothing, camping equipment, and so forth. You might want to consider creating a microsite around kayaking or a microsite around mountain biking, so that microsite has very tight content related to that subject. Google and the other search engines tend to rank those types of websites very high. So if you have a particular type of business that has very specific topics, a microsite might be something that you want to consider. Again, on these microsites, repurpose all the content. You want to put videos and white papers and case studies and ebooks, and things of that nature on your microsite. So this is an example of a Mercedes-Benz microsite, and this microsite specifically talks about the Mercedes-Benz GLK. So this is the site that Mercedes-Benz really wanted to focus on this particular topic. One thing from a search engine optimization standpoint is September 2012, Google changed the way that they kind of rank what we call exact match domains. So let's say you're going to buy a domain name to set up a website, and let's say you're going to set up a kayak website, a kayak microsite. you might create something that's called, PhiladelphiaKayaks.com, thinking that people in the Philadelphia areas where, we're from, might show up higher in the search engines. Well, September 2012, Google started cracking down on some of that because people were abusing exact match domains, but specifically exact match domains where the content was not that great. So if you're creating a microsite on a particular topic and you're putting awesome, relevant content on that site, you're probably going to be okay. So again, a microsite, another form of content marketing. Another form of content marketing that people forget all the time is the good old email. And this can be a plain text email alerting your prospects that you just posted a new blog post on your site. Hey, John, just wanted to let you know we posted a new blog. We just published a new blog post on our site about, 7 ways to get through the rapids better in your kayak. We talk about some tips for not falling over, whatever it is in your kayak. Thought you might like it. Here's a link. Go to the blog post. Again, keeps people coming to your site. You're leveraging the email and the blog content that you have. Could be to offer your ebook or your white paper that you just wrote. Another thing to keep in mind from email is an email newsletter. So an email newsletter are a great way to stay at the top of your customers' minds. Rather than just a plain text email with a specific topic, you could talk about different topics that are going on in your business. You can offer short tips about your products and services, coupons or deals. You can share, again, more information about your products and services, what's hot or what's new in your business. So very, very important. Make sure you're utilizing your email newsletters as a form of content marketing. I know we like to leverage our blog posts and our webinars. We can take that content and then build out our email newsletters because we have all this great content on our site. Makes it very easy for us to create an email newsletter and shoot it out to our customers, letting them know what they may have missed in the previous month or weeks. So the other thing, again, don't forget offline. I'm a huge fan of using offline newsletters for your customers. Still something about snail mail, depending on what your marketplace is like. Once a month, sending out a 4-page newsletter with some Reader's Digest type material, maybe a coupon for to come in and get your bicycle tires pumped up, or a 7-point checkup of your car, whatever it might be. Don't forget to utilize your offline newsletters. Again, newsletters have great pass-along value. So this is content marketing applies to both online, offline. You can use content marketing throughout your marketing channels. Podcast, this one may be a little bit more, I guess, out there or advanced for many of you folks on the call. I'm not sure, but people love audio. And this is another way to communicate with your customers. And the reason that I think podcasts are great is because you can do this on the go. People are on the go. Imagine you create a podcast about the latest and greatest thing in your business, the latest or greatest product or service that you're offering, or maybe a way to take advantage of your product or service. Maybe you're doing an interview with an industry expert of people that might be interested. So we could take the kayaking example again. Maybe you're interviewing an expert in the kayaking field and you're asking them questions. You can record that audio. You can put it up on iTunes, and imagine your customers going to iTunes looking for your updated podcast that you put on your iTunes account that they can download to their phone and listen while they're driving home in the traffic, or if they're picking up their kids from school or whatever you have. Again, take the audio, transcribe it, put it on your website, take advantage of everything that you have. We're working smarter, not harder, when it comes to content marketing. Again, podcast, very easy to do. All you need is a microphone and your computer or your laptop. You can record it, upload it to iTunes, and off you go. So those were some content marketing examples. Again, if you just use a handful of those, 1 or 2, again, you're going to be ahead of the curve. Start out slow, start out small, start ramping up. But you can see as you start building content, you're going to have all these resources that you can leverage in your business and use over and over again in your marketing. So let's start talking about content marketing optimization and how this can help your search engine optimization. Now, we do have a webinar called Search Engine Optimization Secrets. It's on replay. You can go to our site. You can find it and watch the replay if you're not that familiar with SEO. But really what search engine optimization is, or SEO for short, it's the things that you do to your website or web page to get it ranking higher in the search engine for the products and services you sell. So let's talk about how content marketing can help your search engine optimization. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is many times you may not have a formal SEO campaign running for your company or your website, but a lot of people are able to make through or rank pretty well because they have great content on their website. Again, one of the best ways to rank in the search engines is to get links from other websites, and a great way to get links from other websites or shares in social media, what have you, is by putting great content on your site that people love and want to share. So keep that in mind, that even if you're not doing an official or proper SEO campaign, if you're adding content to your site, your site typically will make out better than someone that's not doing SEO or have any type of content marketing running. Now, this particular slide, I love this, comes from Kuno Creative, which is another inbound marketing agency, and I love this slide because it really shows how SEO has changed over the years. So yesterday, in the old days, just a few years ago, SEO was much more about the technical aspects, the things that you do to the code of your site, some content marketing. Now, today, it's all about inbound marketing, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, but it's much more about content marketing, social media, and a little bit of that technical SEO. So really, things have changed in the online marketing SEO world. And some of the reasons that things have changed is because of the way that Google is ranking websites in their search engines. We've talked about this a lot of times. If you've been following me in any of these other webinars or heard me speak anywhere, you know that the attack of the search engines, Google Panda, which happened in February of 2011, and then Google Penguin, that's another algorithm change by Google that happened in April of 2012, really hit those websites that did not provide great content for their users. People that were using thin content or content that wasn't helpful or engaging got penalized by Panda. People who were using duplicate content on their site or stuffing their keywords in their content got penalized by Google Penguin. So all of these different ways that Google's changing the way that they're ranking their websites, content marketing will kind of insulate you from these issues if you do it the right way. So the slide that I have up here now, this is very interesting because this is Google's basically webmaster's guidelines for how to get sites to rank better in the search engines. And this just happened, I think, May 27th. It was kind of quiet. Google didn't really bring it up. But what we're seeing here is the top version is the old language that was in the webmaster's handbook. And if you see the highlighted text, it says, in general, webmasters can improve the rank of their sites by increasing the number of high-quality sites that link to their pages. Okay? So Google told you just a few months ago, actually a couple weeks ago, best way to get your site ranking in the search engine is by getting more sites to link to your site. Now, May 27, 2013, the highlighted text in the Google Webmasters guidebook says, in general, webmasters can improve the rank of their sites by creating high-quality sites that users want to use and share. So this is more about creating great content that people want to use and share. Not trying to manipulate the search engines by getting a bunch of different links from irrelevant websites and so forth, but it's about creating websites that people love and want to share. Only way you can do that, folks, is by adding great content to your website. So again, from a SEO standpoint, this is the SEO pyramid. You can see here that the bottom or the base of your SEO is all about content quality. How good is that content? And of course, as you move your way up the SEO pyramid, link building appears, and link building happens when you have great content on your website. So some of the ways that we can optimize our content on our website are on-page SEO, or really the words and phrases and how they appear on our site. We're talking about the keywords, title tags, H1 tags, how often you mention your keyword on your page, your meta description, and your keyword placement. So what we have here is a photo from SEO Moz. Well, they're now at moz.com. And this is an example of the perfectly optimized page. You can see here at the top, they're showing in a URL where you got your keywords here. Your page title keywords are here. Your description has your keywords, and not too long. You're not stuffing keywords. Again, you're using a nice headline here with the H1 tag, and you're kind of filtering your keywords in the paper on the page, and you're using an image, and you're using the proper alt attributes to name your image. So all very helpful ways to optimize your content, blog posts, articles, things of that nature. And again, you don't want to start link building until you have your content correct. So if you put content on your site that's engaging and useful, people will link to it, and you will naturally rise in the search engines. So this is a little example of what link building is. It's basically anytime another website links back to your website, and by creating content, it becomes a natural link building strategy. So in order to get more links back to your site, we can create infographics and blogs and sponsorships and contests, videos, guest posts on our website so that other people want to share that content with their users. Great way to increase traffic and increase the ranking in the search engines. You want to make sure that you're keeping your content fresh. You want to make sure that you're adding new blog posts at least on a weekly basis. We like to add a new piece of a new blog post to our site 2 or 3 times a week. Doesn't mean that you have to do that, but it'd be great if you could do it once a week. Even if you can do it once a month, it's better than nothing. The next thing that you want to keep in mind is you do not want to duplicate your content. So what do I mean by duplicating your content? You want to make sure that you have one keyword phrase or one piece of content per URL. You don't want to have the same content or near same content across multiple URLs on your website. Google will penalize you for that. It's not good for their users, so they're really cracking down on duplicate content across your website. You want to make sure when you're writing your content that you're not stuffing your keyword. And here's an example. What is a word on a white web page that is white because the background is white? That is not good for user experience. Google can absolutely tell that you're trying to manipulate their algorithm, and they will penalize you for it. The Google Penguin or the Google Panda will come and take you out. So now let's talk about ways that you can optimize your content for social media. Very, very important. The thing to remember here, and the biggest issue people have with social media, is they can't figure out how to get an ROI. Show me the money, right? How am I going to make money from social media? Well, the problem with most social media campaigns, and the reason that most social media campaigns do not work, is because most businesses do not have a solid content marketing strategy. They spray and pray. They're kind of half here, half there. If you had a great content strategy, if you had blog posts and videos and ebooks and white papers to share with your buyers and customers, now you have something to say on social media. I hope that makes sense. So here are some other tips you can use for sharing your content on social media. If you're going to link back to an article or a blog post, make sure you shorten your URL. Services like Google URL Shortener or Bitly services that you can put the long URL in. You can hit shorten. It gives you a nice tight URL that you can share on your social media campaigns. It's also a great way to track how often people are clicking on your link. So check out the Google URL shortener or a service like bit.ly, bit.ly, and that will really help you in that situation. Use hashtags. Before this webinar started, we talked about hashtag Streaminar. A hashtag is basically a way to mark a keyword or a topic in a tweet. Hashtags really started on Twitter, but now if you've been listening to the digital marketing news, Facebook is now getting involved in hashtags. Google Plus has been using hashtags. So it's really a way to help categorize and filter messages. So if you want to tweet something or put a message out on your Facebook, if you use the hashtag symbol before the word, it'll help you show up more for that particular keyword. So very important to use hashtags. I'm seeing this more and more on television commercials, radio, offline marketing. Search hashtag XYZ or whatever it might be. Hashtag Philadelphia Kayaks, a great way for people to filter out their social media messages and find your message. Hashtags can be used anywhere in a tweet, the beginning, the middle, the end, just depends on how you want to use it. The other thing you want to do is reposition your content fit in the social media. So what do I mean by that? Asking a question, so keeping a good credit score, then becomes, are you doing everything you can to raise your credit score? So people like to start conversations and ask questions. So rather than just put the content out there, take the piece of content and ask a question so you can get engagement through your social media platform. Another thing that you want to consider is the visual nature of some social media platforms, especially Facebook. People are using social media on their phones more and more, and as they're scrolling through their feeds, the thing that's going to catch their attention is not necessarily the words, but it's going to be an interesting image. So make sure that you're using properly formatted images on your social media platforms with a link to the article or the blog post or the video, whatever you want to share, so that people grabs your buyer's attention and people will find your content. Very important. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're original. Be authentic. It's one thing to kind of curate content, meaning finding content online, reworking it or putting it into your own words, but you want to create original, authentic content that means something to you, that your buyers and customers will get something out of. You want to create brand stories, and you want to develop customer personas. How do you want to speak to your buyers and visitors? What are those messages? So really important to create original and authentic content for your users on your website, and then share that on social media. You're going to get much more, a bigger bang for your buck by doing those things. And finally, this is how we bring it all together. This is how your content marketing works as a marketing machine, always running. So we talked about, creating ebooks and white papers. So we want to develop an offer, and the offer could be an ebook, a white paper, a video, a checklist, something along those lines. You want to advertise that offer on your website. You want to make sure that people can opt in with a name and email so that you can follow up with them with emails. You want to make sure that you're attracting new traffic to your site by writing blog posts and articles and then linking back to your landing pages and your calls to action with your offers. Once you have your offers and your blog posts, you want to make sure that you're sharing all of that content on your social media profiles. And finally, you want to measure everything. Does you no good if you can't track what you can't measure. So you want to analyze, figure out what's working, what's not, and do more of what's working, of course. So we're a little bit over the hour. It's about 5 minutes after 4. I want to say thank you to everyone who's attended the webinar. Again, if you have any questions or comments about the webinar, please feel free to reach out to us on Twitter. Use hashtag Streaminar, and we hope that you have a safe start to your summer, and hope to see you all next month with another webinar. Again, this is Bill Parlaman, VP of Digital Marketing here at Stream Companies. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you next month. Bye.